Niliwaambia ukitaka kujua William Ruto anawaza kufanya nini, just pay attention to Oscar Sudi. Oscar Sudi huwa na act kama mouthpiece ya William Samoei Arap Ruto most of the time. And most of you huwa nawaambia mnafikiria ni jokes. Unajua Oscar Sudi akiongea, mimi huwa naamini ya kwamba William Ruto wants to make it. Unajua Oscar Sudi akiongea, hujue ni William Ruto anaongea kupitia kwake. So now, hii story ya gold upande wa Ikolomani, upande wa Kakamega County, imeanza kuleta kizungumkuti. William Ruto ameamua anaenda ku access hiyo gold, and that's why I don't want you to swipe up this video and show me like, na nasema thanks kwa hiyo like yako. Nyinyi ni watu wa nguvu zaidi. Wale wageni, ensure pia mnajiunga na sisi kwa kubonyeza alama ya subscription ili tuwe familia kubwa tena zaidi. And guys, don't forget, tunaendelea na kamchango. Wale ambao wanaendelea kunitumia pesa za kununua microphone, nasema asanteni sana. Naendelea kupokea mchango wenu. Na wale pia ambao ungependa kujiunga na wale ambao wanajaribu kutuma kidogo ambacho wako nacho, pia unaweza kutumia hiyo line ambayo ina display hapo chini. Asanteni sana. Unajua guys, ukweli wa mambo ni kwamba William Ruto hafurahii wakati ambapo George Natembeya, governor wa Trans Nzoia, and Boni Khalwale wanajaribu kurepresent wananchi upande wa Western Region. Hiyo kitu inauma William Ruto zaidi. Na ndio maana unaona kwa historia ya gold, William Ruto ameamua, he wants to make sure that amelipa wananchi do, ili yeye hiyo gold aweze kuuzia Mchina ambaye alikuwa amekuja direct kulink na wananchi wenyewe. So now Governor Natembeya and Boni Khalwale walikuwa wameenda pale kuprevent serikali ya William Ruto isijaribu kuleta ukonship ndani. Unaona guys, ukonship ndani, and that's why walikuwa wanatumia wanapolisi. Watu kadhaa wameaga dunia. Tunataka tusikize Oscar Sudi. After listening to Oscar Sudi, I want to listen to Boni Khalwale. Alikuwa kwa interview anajaribu exposing the story.
Nataka niseme maneno mawili. Nimeona kule Ikolomani, nimeona mheshimiwa senator wa Kakamega Boni Khalwale, na nimeona ule Conman Malava wamepiganisha wananchi kwa sababu ya maneno ya gold. Mimi nataka niambie Malala, tunajua wewe na Boni hamupiganishi wananchi kwa sababu nataka wapate. Unapiganisha wananchi, mnataka yule Chinese watafute. Hawawezi watafuta, na gold italipwa na tutalipa hao watu, na mtaenda hivyo kule mnafikiria. Kwa sababu hii nchi lazima iendelee. Kwa hiyo tunawazoea, si ati wajipii nyinyi ni wakora. Mnapinga dunia, mnapinga hii, mnataka huyo wawekezaji wawaite. Kwa sasa hivi mnaona sasa mnapinga ule ndio amepata gold pale, asilipe wananchi, wananchi wamekufa. Sijui faida hii itakuwa nini. Mimi nataka nikwambie kwanza, wewe Malala, unajua tulikuleta kwa chama, na ile hasara ulipatia kwa chama, naona bado unataka kupatia hasara watu wa Kakamega. Mimi nataka niambie wewe Boni Khalwale, maneno ya kupiganisha ng'ombe sio mambo ya kusaidia wananchi. Tunataka tukwambie wewe senator, usifuzwe ukora ya pesa. Tunajua wewe ujuange ukora ya pesa sana, lakini Malala anataka kufuza ukora ya pesa. Tunapoteza watu kwa sababu ya ujinga wenu, na tunataka tuwaambie na msikie vizuri, hawa wananchi watalipwa na gold lazima ilipwe, lazima inji iendelee. Ya pili,
hiyo inaonyesha kwamba William Ruto anaenda ku access hiyo gold. Na Oscar Sudi akiongea, mimi huwa naamini William Ruto ameamua. Unaona guys? So huyu ni Boni Khalwale.
Yeah, let's start with the gold. There's this area. I think you're best to tell us where exactly this gold is. There's been some gold that has really caused 4 deaths now in Ikolomani. What is the problem? What is happening there?
Maybe I start by correcting you a little. You've just told listeners that and viewers that gold has been discovered in Ikolomani. That is not true.
Gold has been there.
I remember when I was 10 years old, the artisanal miners from my village in Malinga, there were so many. In fact, one famous one was called Mukisa. Mukisa was a great artisan. They had been, and that is when I was 10 years old. That's almost 50 years ago. So, it has been going on. The only thing that has happened is that whereas it has mainly been small scale through artisanal and miners, and of course small scale miners. Now the big players want to come in. So the big players did exploration, which has taken so long, and they came up with an announcement that we had deposits that were equivalent to 36,000 kilograms. So this being the case, they started the steps to now to do proper mining. And as expected, they went to the government, and the government told them it's okay. But they forgot that there are people living in those fields. So the people living in the fields now are demanding for a hearing. That's all that is going on now. If you run a butcher in Chepkupe, huko at home, you go to somebody's home, you tell him, I can't sell meat today because I want you to sell me this bull of yours. He pays you for the price of the bull. If the bull, our bulls are usually around 100 to 150,000. He pays you your 100,000 for your bull, and he goes to the market to sell it at the butcher. It is up to him now to get whatever markup on it in terms of profit, depending on how well he negotiated with you. So we want that discussion about our gold, that you have gold worth 680, but because you cannot be able to extract, we will pay you half of it, and then the other half will help us to mine and process and market so that we make our profit. That is the natural human way of looking at it. But you come to my homestead, you take my bull, you go with the entire bull, you tell, I'll sell this bull, and when I finish selling, I'll bring you 10,000 as what you must have made from it. And yet I have been with this bull from the time he was a heifer and fed him up to the weight of being worth 150,000 shillings.
Okay.
In
short, you don't have the number.
No, we can't have the number.
Okay.
The number must be agreed on. It must be legal. Otherwise, if it is not legal, the court.
Proposal.
Yes, the proposal I've been making is that we will need to go back to Parliament. This is a wake-up call now. Laws are repealed. Laws are changed. We are going to change that law. That law was to attract investors because we didn't know what we were sitting on. Nobody is inciting them. They know what is the value down there. They do. And I would like the media. You accompany me. We go to the gold mine. We go down. You don't die by going down. We go down with you. Yes. We go. You see with your own eyes. Let me tell you how difficult this thing is. People die in the gold mines because of the challenges of poor oxygen delivery down there. And I know of a case, not one, several, where a colleague dies. They are down there 200 feet below, and when he's dead, these boys refuse to report up that their colleague is dead. They are more in a hurry to extract the gold, and the issue of the dead guy can come after 2-3 days. 3 months ago, we had another collapsed mine at a place called Machiris at Haega. We were there for 5 days fighting, pumping oxygen into those holes, fighting so that the bodies could come out, and the guys were busy bringing us soil of gold instead of bringing the bodies, because they knew the pure oxygen was now giving them a better opportunity to bring it. It is that emotive. It's not a child's play. When on Saturday, on Friday, the boys don't work on Saturday and Sunday. On Friday, the boys will come out, and you go to Marinya, you go to Banana Bar. The guys say, today my thanks to God is to give money and give drinks to everybody on the market. And they give because it's gold, it's money, it's a lot of money. Malinga market is the only market in Western where if you want to do an M-Pesa exchange, you can withdraw 500,000 at midnight. It is a 24-hour thing. It is not a joke. The gold they want to buy, to mine, my land, already boys are mining on Mukomari, Kakamega Mukomari, my land, 1269. They are mining gold now, but I don't disturb them because I know they are just scratching on the top. Yes, I'm telling you. We need to be heard, to be understood. They picked a few leaders, MCS here, the governor there, MPs there, who do not understand these things. But I understand because I am born and bred. I was educated on the proceeds of Chana. When I was maturer in Form 3 and Form 4, I used to come, I was a day scholar. I used to go down so that I get some little money to top up my mother's Chana money for me to pay school fees. These are things we know.
People asking, and they're saying, okay, this plan that you have, Kakamega City, changing the law and starting afresh with new law about how to mine these precious gold. How long is it going to take?
Legislation is nothing. We fast track legislation in Parliament all the time. We can fast, not we can, we are going to fast track because these killings must stop. Because this precious mineral must be extracted for the benefit of the entire nation. Instead of us extracting it and getting trapped in a DRC Congo sort of, in a Sudan sort of problem, in a South Sudan sort of problem. We don't want the mineral gold to be a curse to the people of Kenya. We want it to be an opportunity. You can only convert it into an opportunity if you do proper legislation, if you respect the people, if you appreciate the diverse interests. You cannot do it by just seeing the gold in the precincts of the investor.
What we know is the company is planning to pump in 27 billion shillings to help with the exploration and everything.
Yes.
So where are you getting this 95% from?
The 27 billion they are going to expend is the 27 billion that will drive the technology of extracting, of mining, of processing and refining. Okay? It will cost them 27 billion shillings. 680 minus 27 billion. That is, balance is 653, right? So 653 billion, after they have extracted the cost of removal, 653 remains to them. They have other incidental costs which they'll meet. Give it probably another 50 billion shillings for those costs, whatever it is, and blah blah blah. They finish. So they remain with 600 billion shillings and walk away.
And minus, now you can remove.
Then you remove the 5%, which is around 4 billion shillings, max 5 billion. So they go away with 595 billion, and we in Kenya we remain with 5 billion. In modern day, with the globalization, with the understanding of the global village, with youth like you, so equipped to capture things real time, we will be shortchanging you. Why? Because we are failing to negotiate. It's a question.
Do you have proof for this, Senator?
That's why I'm saying it. Anybody with a contrary view, let him support his views with what I'm saying. This is a matter which is dear to us. And I know if as leadership we don't apply our minds, young people will continue being killed.
How many people have died in this government?
No, the Wengi, but we can talk about the ones who happened, the latest.
Yes,
there were 3. There were 3, very many injured, 150 arrested. We appealed to the government yesterday. Governor George Natembeya and I, we made a formal request that they release all these people, return their motorbikes, start reconstructing the Musali Secondary School, which was run down, so that tempers can calm down, for us to go back to the people with deliverables that, look, this is what the government is doing, stop fighting, we are talking on your behalf. Yeah,
so you've told, what is the way forward now? Are you saying that this process should stop, first of all, and let further engagements continue? Is that what you're trying to say?
Precisely. Mm-hmm. We are appealing and requesting that the fight which has taken place was not fighting over sharing of gold. The fight is because NEMA wanted to come and do a function called public participation. Mm-hmm. So we are saying this is not a matter of life and death. Please hold. Don't do the public participation, this conversation to take place, and after a way forward is done, we will then examine the NEMA report. We have refused to read the NEMA report.
Why?
Because it is an excuse to justify the illegality of the exploitative gold mining to continue. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but without the NEMA report, we know that the robust constitution of Kenya will protect the locals. Will ask, in the courts will ask Shanda Gold, where did you do public participation to justify your entry?
Eastern DRC, and we've seen an accord being signed in Washington just over this weekend. And what do you make? Because that accord means that the US companies will now have direct access to mining in Goma, down there in South Kivu.
But that is why it is not because of his love for Kagame and the people of Rwanda, or his love for Tshisekedi and the people of DRC. It is because he wanted to create the opportunity for American companies to continue exploiting the mineral resource of the DRC. I can assure you, just like daylight will end this evening and there will be night, I can assure you that accord is going to be breached very soon, because a different set of leaders who feel otherwise will start agitating for a better deal, and then the thing will collapse. If there were no minerals in Goma, there would be no fighting. Why would somebody fight for the Kalahari Desert? They will fight for Kalahari Desert as soon as it is announced that underneath the desert there is gold or there is oil. Let me tell you, we are old enough. When oil was struck in Turkana, do you know unscrupulous businessmen, some of them in leadership today, they went and bought oil blocks of up to 600, 800 acres, so that at the end of the day, the tomcats had moved in and the people of Turkana would remain in abject poverty. I have a dream that the oil, exploitation of oil in Turkana will be handed over to the county government of Turkana, just like we handed over the Masai Mara and the Amboseli to the county government of Narok and the county government of Kajiado. That is how we are going to develop. Wow. Let me tell you, this studio of yours, it will have its headquarters in Lodwar. This studio of yours, you'll have no time having the headquarters in Nairobi. You'll have it in the gold city of Kakamega, because you want to go where there is business.
Lastly, Senator, let's get quickly to your kicking out. You are ejected as the chief whip of the majority party. Yes. Why were you kicked out?
And let me tell you, because of my background, we don't cry over spilled milk. The issue of being whipped is now water under the bridge. We have taken it in our stride and we are moving on, discharging national responsibilities. Don't forget, I have a very big opportunity to work for and on behalf of Kenyans to improve the well-being of Kenyans through legislation in Parliament. It is a very big role. my life has not come to an end because I'm still the senator of Kakamega. I can only use this opportunity to say how proud I am that for the last 3 years, through proper whipping, we've done a lot of work in Parliament. And the one who has taken over from me, I hope he'll continue doing the good work. Kenya is not about Dr. Boni Khalwale being a member of particular, a holder of a particular office.
Okay.
Kenya is about all of us winning.
Okay. Do you have any regrets because you campaigned for the opposition party and that was your Waterloo?
When I campaigned for Seth Panyako, my mind was very clear. I was not campaigning for any political party. Even if you ask me the full meaning of his party, which is DAP, I can get it there. I can easily get it wrong. I was campaigning for 1, a brother, 2, a friend, and 3, the immediate former vice chairman of UDA, who was a founder member of UDA.
But you had your own candidate.
Can I?
Yes. Yeah.
So Seth Panyako, I owed him that him and I, we were founder members of UDA from our part of the community, the country. 2, he was our vice chair. And 3, he is my brother and a friend. In Luya culture, just like many other Kenyan communities, you don't stab a brother. I didn't care which party he was running on. And the people who are campaigning for other parties, you know them. Some of them are in UDA. You saw them on your screens here in the studio, up to and wearing paraphernalia
of ODM.
Of ODM. You didn't see me doing such a childish things. I wasn't in Malava for small things like political parties. I was in Malava for the big picture.
Do you regret? What was the big picture?
The big picture are the 3 limbs. My brother, founding member, vice chairman, and my friend.
Okay. Do you regret?
Regretful?
You making that decision that that led to you being kicked out.
We are writing the history of the nation. And it will be written that to make a good decision, it doesn't have to be personal. If it was personal, I would have made other consideration, including what will be my fate. But because it was not personal, we are teaching our children, and I have some. Yes, I have them. God has blessed me with many children. I have some children. We are teaching our children that don't base your decision making on selfish interests. Always make decisions in the greater good of the public.
What were the perks in that office that you occupied?
The extra perks in the office include staff, support staff, so they have run out of a job. I have a personal attendant, a personal assistant. I have a principal research officer. I have got a secretary. I've got an office assistant. I have got an office messenger, and I have got a driver. Those are 6. So the young people have lost their jobs. They were employed by Parliamentary Service Commission.
And
it is nothing personal because the guy who took over from him comes in with his own staff. So there's a good way. Vehicle is only 1.
The president said that or some of the people in the opposition, in the government now, were saying that you abandoned your post. You are not attending crucial meetings as the whip of the majority party. Is there any truth in that? The chief whip position, that you had the position but you were busy in the opposition side.
If I wanted to be in the opposition, I beg your pardon, I would have used the same energy to create an opposition, which I did, with President William Ruto, sufficient to help him to become president. So if I had preferred the other side, I would have been there. You know, it is starting to get lost to Kenyans that 2 Johnny come latelys, Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula, came after we had already done the heavy lifting, and it was now apparent that William Ruto was going to be president. So that's when they came running and they said, hey, I've come with all the hallelujah. If they had come with all the hallelujah, why did they have the humiliation I gave them in Malava the other day?
I thought it is them who gave you the humiliation because your candidate lost. Seth Panyako lost.
I didn't have a candidate. I was just supporting a brother. I was just supporting a brother and a friend.
The one you were backing lost, or was he rigged out?
That is again something that requires that you invite the credible election observers who made a formal report which confirmed that there were no free and fair elections. You cannot have a victor in an election where violence is so extreme that people lose their lives, cars are torched. You can't. So it is again another test on our democracy.
Okay. So they stole his win? Is that what you're saying?
I am saying it is hard to know who won because there was no free and fair election in Malava and Mbere. The killings, the intimidation, the violence, the destruction of property, including torching cars, is the very reason why I, under the co-chairmanship of Kreitu Murungi and James Orengo, we midwifed and created the current election laws that speak to all those things. And God forbid, that should not be the situation that will be taking us to the next general election.